We've talked about the powers, the organizations that are in this fast-moving region, but there's one absentee, it seems to me these days, the United States. Mm-hmm. Where is it in this whole picture?
Well, I mean, the simple answer is that it's not there at all. And early on, when Central Asia and the Caucasus separated from the Soviet Union, the United States made a bid to be present there, invest in particularly energy, and also in security issues, but it's now increasingly absent. I mean, it's also important to sort of note that, when we talk about Eurasia, this is largely a concept that is being crafted in Asia rather than the Europe part. And this idea that there's a sort of the geographic landmass could be a strategic unitarian concept is coming from the East. And it's also an evolving concept. Some of the players in the region are looking to the West, particularly in the Caucasus, or maybe even Kazakhstan. And many of them are also looking to the East. Some are looking to the South, like Tajikistan and Turkmenistan, more towards Iran. Some are looking towards India. So I don't think even within the region, strategically speaking, there is one unitary view. And actually, the withdrawal of the United States has helped this kind of fracturing of which direction do you look. It's also sort of important to think that the big players in this region, at least the ones who sought to sort of give shape to a regional understanding, particularly around the concept of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, Russia, China, and Iran, and now Turkey added to it, are distinctly keen. They look at this region as their backyard, as their strategic backyard, and they don't want the United States there. In fact, if the one thing that all of them agree on is that this sort of in the spirit of Shanghai Cooperation Council, this should be a regional, it should be a region that they essentially control, and the less the United States is present, the better. And I think partly the economic investment and development is driven at integrating this region, particularly with China, but also with Russia and with Iran and Turkey, to the exclusion of the United States. And I finally would say for them, particularly for China, the Central Asia and Caucasus provide an alternative to what they see as the Malacca Straits problem. Is that the United States has the command of the high seas. It can always choke them. When we first thought about One Belt, One Road, we thought about a string of pearls ports that go all the way from Asia to the east coast of Africa. But the concept of a Silk Road, the new Silk Road as a definition for Belt and Road, essentially means creating this linkage via land. And that makes integration of Central Asia and Caucasus into what might be bigger strategic and economic concepts that China obviously has the economic wherewithal, but Iran and Russia are ultimately supportive because they see it as coming at the cost of a U.S. presence in the region.
Previous question, Ida, you mentioned about the position of United States. United States is our strategic partner, and for example, the U.S.-Georgia relations is on an all-time high level, and we see a deepening of our cooperation in both dimensions, in security and also in the field of economics and business. But at the same time, yes, I would agree that in the region, these countries may have various international aspirations. And of course, for example, the aspiration of Georgia, and we are fully committed to these ideas, is to become the full members of NATO and European Union. But at the same time, as Mr. Hemke mentioned, so there is a very big value unlocked in Central Asia. And the major obstacle to unlock this value for the global economy is, of course, transportation and logistics. In Georgia, we are constructing a deep sea port to help these nations to trade with the rest of the world, to decrease their cost of logistics, to make them more competitive. So I don't think that this kind of the various international aspirations is an obstacle in this case, because there's a very big economic interest. I totally agree with you, and so I don't regard it as an obstacle.